Hi, I'm Joel Shinnis. Yes, that Joel Shinnis on YouTube. And let's talk about YouTube. It's kind of amazing, right, that we can just publish videos. There are so many tools out there for editing and stuff too that it becomes a lot easier to make higher content videos if you kind of just know where to look. It's an incredible platform, and it's easy to look at YouTube and think like, well, it's for YouTubers. Putting stuff on YouTube is for people who want to put stuff on YouTube. That's a whole thing. But any programmer can use YouTube to further their career without having to totally commit to being a YouTuber. And I want to talk about 5 ways it can help. So, number 1, tech interviews. You can kind of self-administer tech interviews. Now, that's not like the interview where you sit down and be like, oh, how would you reverse a linked list? Oh, thank you for asking. I would do this. It's more like, I've used YouTube to sort of like do a slide deck. Oh, this is how this React app works. And then I move the slide deck over and I actually start coding and live coding, and I talk about what I'm doing while I'm coding. I'll make something small, like it'll be 20 minutes to an hour of a video, but by doing that, I am able to communicate, yes, I'm able to do this thing. And because I'm doing it offline, any interviewer can look at it and be like, oh, this person actually does know what it's like, or this is what it's like to work with this person, or oh, these are at least the opinions this person has. So when I am conducting an interview, I look at a resume. I don't know how the words in the resume actually translate to someone being able to do something. So if I see like, if they're able to share like a YouTube video, it says like, oh, actually, here's what I can do. It adds a lot more value and clarity, and it gives me a better sense of what that is. Hiring is guessing, right? So the second thing is tutorials. Now, you may think to yourself, I don't know enough to make a full YouTube tutorial. There's so many things to know, and I'm going to leave stuff out, or I'm going to get it wrong. Chill out. What I'm talking about is that even if you don't want to make those big tutorials, there is a chance at different times in your career that you could be the subject matter expert on your team on something. And this can happen in the first few months of your career. Right? It's happened to me a bunch of times just because there were some things that kind of clicked for me more easily, or because I was going home and working on the skills that we were using, or a new technology came up that we had to use, and I was the one who figured out how to use it first. So you can make small tutorials for your team about that to explain to them, hey, this is how this happens, kind of like an onboarding video. This is a really effective way of communicating technical skills. And you can make them private or enlisted, and you can only focus on the things that matter for your team. So that's also really, really handy. All right, third thing, project demos. So especially for mobile developers, this is going to be important because, you don't necessarily expect people to download your app just to show what you've done. It might even be that your app can't go in the store for some reason. So, using YouTube for project demos is a great way of saying, like, hey, this is what this thing does. Hey, this is what you can see. Hey, here's a demo of it being used. I'll often make videos of my status updates and share them as GIFs, like within my team. But if you're doing freelance and the people that you are freelancing, you talk with them and it's okay for you to make like private videos on YouTube, you can be able to share like, hey, here's what I am, here's what it looks like. And that's a great way of sharing what your project actually does, is to see it in video. Fourth thing is that you can build presentation skills. Now, I've been a programmer for, I've been a programmer for 13 years. And there's been lots of times where I've been doing presentations, both in school, as part of work, building workshops, that sort of thing. I was a lecturer for 2 years, and being able to have good presentation skills is a good career booster for programmers. I know a lot more of us are likely to be introverts, but it's still good to have those presentation skills. YouTube is a safe place to do that. You can just make videos, even if you left them unlisted. The act of going through, building a presentation, and seeing it there is a great way to do that. If you have a presentation coming up, you can practice it on YouTube. And then you have it there. You can even practice on YouTube, send it to someone and be like, hey, what do you think? As a way of kind of practicing or building those skills. And the last thing is, it might change your career. Now, when I say change your career, I don't mean like sign up for a YouTube channel and then you'll be you'll be a full-time YouTuber after that, right? Don't quit your job the next day. As Gary Vee says, prepare to eat shit for 10 years, right? Prepare for nothing to happen for 10 years. And it may take a while of like just being consistent, building up content, building up a small following, watching it go, getting better at it over time. But if you do have that, if you do have content like that, it may put you in a position where, maybe you're doing training, or maybe you're making a Skillshare course and your YouTube as an advertisement for that. Maybe you have a Patreon that kind of like submits some money, or even just a buy me a coffee sticker. It might change where your career goes. You might be able to get a role that has more tech evangelist. It might help help you make talks. It might help land you that lead role because they see, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. It might help get you that promotion. So it can change the trajectory of your career and open doors that you wouldn't have open otherwise. You can't necessarily predict that, but once you have it, you'd be surprised how things change. You'd basically be surprised at how your luck improves. All right. So those are 5 ways that being on YouTube can help your career. If you have any questions about anything I've said or anything you want me to talk about, please leave a comment. In the meantime, thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope this helps. Best of luck out there.